Yahweh telling people His 7 feasts.
Therefore, hear me now, my children, and do not depart from the words of my mouth.
There is no longer Jews or Gentiles. We are all in this one fold because we entered through our belief.
Keep your heart with all diligence, for out of it spring the issues of life.
The Bible is teaching us about the urgency of time.
Sa pagtanggap kay Kristo na siyang na tagapagligtas.
Hello. Welcome po sa ating programang The Bible Cafe. Ayan, welcome po sa ating Thursday episode. At si Pastor Ram Gambo po ito ng Calvary Chapel, Baguio City. At for the moment, dito po tayo sa Las Vegas Satellite Studio, broadcasting with my brethren dyan sa may Baguio City. Welcome po. Welcome all. At good day, good morning, good evening, afternoon, kung saan po, man po kayo viewing, watching at this moment. At salamat po if you are with us. Salamat sa ating Panginoong Yahweh giving us another opportunity. For one, we can have time to look at His Word, bring out some lessons from it that we can apply sa ating mga buhay. And then we can also have interaction. We can also entertain ang mga questions po ninyo regarding sa pananaw ninyo bilang isang Kristiyano, or sa mga personal study ninyo sa Bible. Yan po ang Bible Cafe. Kaya continue to help us promote this, i-spread natin ang salita sa ating mga Kapilipino, saan man siya sulok ng mundo na naroroon. Mga loved ones natin, mga friends. Salamat po at we look forward na kung kayo po ay just newly watching this program, we look forward na it will serve you well, and you will find this beneficial and helpful, at mai-share nyo rin sa inyong mga kakilalang mga Pilipino, of course, kasi sa Tagalog natin po ito ginagawa eh. Anyway, salamat po again, si Pastor Ram Gambo po ito, welcoming everyone. Well, mga kasama ko dyan sa Baguio, anong balita dyan? Ano bang oras natin?
Hello, Pastor Ram, magandang umaga po dyan sa US of A. Ang oras po dito sa Baguio City ay Bible Cafe Time na! Ayan. Hi guys! Kamusta na nga po kayong lahat dyan mula sa Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao at sa buong parte ng mundo. Ayan, welcome po muli sa programang Bible Cafe, na kung saan kami po ay you send in your queries or even mga questions nyo, and we are able to answer it sa pamamagitan po ni Pastor Ram. Ayan, so as early as now, you can send in your personal questions sa inyong Bible reading, and even sa inyong situation or inyong mga experiences bilang isang Kristiyano. Ayan, so welcome po sa lahat. If you want to reach us, you can comment sa ating chat box, and also sa mga greetings, and we also have hotline numbers. You can suggest topics and even send in your questions dito po sa hotline numbers 0927-494-2175 for Globe subscribers, and 0949-736-5000 for Smart subscribers. Ayan, muli po, welcome sa Thursday episode ng Bible Cafe. Ayan.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, shalom. This is Sister Umbi again here. Nice to see you everyone again. If you're holding your phone, let's share it po.
Yes.
This Yes, this is Thursday again. Let's enjoy our episode po. Thank you.
Ayan, so right now we are going to up to our next part ng ating program, which is yung proverb of the day, and our scripture for today is found in Proverbs chapter 12, and we're going to pick up sa verses 1 to 7. So if you have your Bible with you, you can open with us at samahan niyo po kami sa ating pagbabasa ng proverb of the day, at pangungunahan po tayo ni Sister Umbi sa ating Bible reading.
Yes, here Proverbs chapter 12, verse 1 to 7 here po. Whoso loveth instruction loveth knowledge, but he that hateth reproof is brutish. A good man obtains favor of the Lord, but a man of wicked devices will be condemned. A man shall not be established by wickedness, but the root of the righteous shall not be moved. A virtuous woman is a crown to her husband, but she that maketh ashamed is as rottenness in his bones. The thoughts of the righteous are right, but the counsels of the wicked are deceit. The words of the wicked are to lie in wait for blood, but the mouth of the upright shall deliver them. The wicked are overthrown and are not, but the house of the righteous shall stand.
Ayan, maraming salamat Sister Unbi for the Bible reading, and back to you Pastor Ram dyan sa may Las Vegas Satellite Studio.
Alright. Salamat, Sis Umbi. At let's see. Ang basically dalawang klasing tao ang pinag-uusapan dito, yung again yung righteous, wicked, pero meron ding isang na-mention dito yung taong may asawa, yung asawang babae, na kung siya ay maayos, meron siyang sinabing crown of her husband. At kung hindi naman, she is something else. Pero basically, mga dalawang klase, righteous at saka wicked ang pinipresent niya sa atin. Ang idea nito na King Solomon, tinuturuan niya tayo, this is a heads up, ika nga, reminder sa atin, warning sa atin, to see what kind of a person we are today. And so kung tayo ay hindi fool, if we are wise, then sandali, may being, kumbaga kung yung mga ginagawa ko ngayon, hindi pala ito maganda, papunta pala sa hindi magandang direksyon. So, wait a minute, we can make a difference, we can change that by going sa ating Panginoon and asking help, na wag tayo ang mga klaseng mga description ng wicked na nababasa natin dito. Kung naman tayo ay heading to the right direction, salamat po Panginoon. May you continue to empower me with your Holy Spirit, with your grace, that I may continue to be found as the righteous man that this proverb is telling us. Yan po ang idea ng proverb, para siyang flashlight sa sometimes we're walking, are we sure certain ba tayo sa ginagawa natin, and then may flashlight above you and then makikita mo, oo nga, tama pala itong direction ko, hindi tama, then you change it. Yun po ang proverb. Like po ng message natin last night, midweek service dito sa Las Vegas, CMI Las Vegas, ay yung tao dapat alam niya exactly kung nasaan siya, kung is he going to the right direction. If not, then nandun ang ating Panginoon to help us na maitama ang ating mga buhay. Sa verse 12, sa verse 1 ng chapter 12, whoever loves instruction loves knowledge. But he who hates correction is stupid, sabi niya sa New King James. Ano po? So dalawang klaseng tao. Yung taong nagnanais ng what is to do. Ano yung ano ba dapat gawin pag yan ay hiningi niya sa ating Panginoong Yahweh. Panginoon, ano po ba dapat ang klaseng buhay na ipapamuhay ko sa buhay ko pong ito? Ngayon, very attractive ang taong yan sa Bible. Either Old Testament scriptures or New Testament scriptures. Ayan, magiging container siya ngayon ng instruction. So, madali siya mag-store ng knowledge about the Bible. Ayan. Siya mismo, he loves to know kung ano yung what is to do eh. But he who hates correction is stupid. Yun naman na ayaw niyang nako-correct, na meron na siyang na-set na klaseng buhay, klaseng pagkatao, yung ano niya, yung approach niya, he doesn't want or she doesn't want anyone to change that, is actually stupid. And there is no room for God's instruction. That's why now these days, ang mga tao mismo, unfortunately, sa loob ng church, gusto na nilang ibaliwala part of the scriptures. Yan, lalo na ang Old Testament scriptures. Hindi na natin kailangan to, etc. That is one. It's that if you obey the scriptures that you're saying na hindi mo na kailangan, will that make you a bad Christian? Or will that make you a better Christian? Sasabihin mo, it will make me a better Christian. So why are you taking it? Why are you taking them off? You just don't want correction. Ayan ngayon ang pumapasok sa mga churches, even sa mga evangelical. So we have to be careful on who we are listening to, no? Kung sino po yung pinapakinggan natin. Dapat po mag-iingat tayo dahil nasa loob na po ng pulpito ng mga churches yung pinapamper na nila ang flesh ng mga tao. At ang mga tao naman, they come to church, sa dami-dami kasi ng church, para sila ngayon namimili kung saan nila gusto. Ayoko to. Nako-correct yung carnality. Hanap tayo ng ibang church. Ganun kasi ang mga tao ngayon. Kaya ngayon, you cannot count on the audience anymore. But you just have to establish ano yung truth. Ano po yung truth. At you stand right there whether may makikinig o wala. Kung wala nang nakikinig, just go to the church. Hindi yung imimit natin kung anong gustong pakinggan ng mga nakikinig. Delikado po yan. Ay very, very dangerous road yan. And it was prophesied na that will be our time or anong klaseng audience magkakaroon dito sa last days. But anyways, whoever loves instruction, loves knowledge. Hopefully tayo yun, no? Hopefully we ask Yahweh, how will I live my life, Yahweh? Now that I am a born-again person, now what am I supposed to do? Ayan, you love instruction. Yung you say a prayer and then you already concluding na you are saved and so you can behave. Yung mga ungodly character mo are still all over in you. Verse 2, a good man obtains favor from the Lord, but a man of wicked intentions, he will condemn. Well, dalawa na naman to, yung wicked intention at saka yung good man. Ang good man daw obtains favor from the Lord. Oh, why? Well, the good man obviously is in the right path to how life should be according kay Yahweh. That's the good man. So, siyempre, if a good man is doing the things that Yahweh Himself loves to do, then may favor yan. May push, may empowerment, may tulong, may assistance. Yan ang favors ng ating Panginoon sa isang good man. Unang-una, i-set natin yung plano muna. Set natin yung direction. Let us see the perspective as Yahweh, what is to come. So pag nag-set ka doon, you start doing that, dyan ngayon ang favors ng ating Panginoong Yahweh. Hindi yung ito na nga, babalik na naman tayo sa mga prayer natin. People usually make a long list of prayer requests sa prayer nila, and then kung titingnan mo yung long list of requests nila, they're all carnal. Wala man na, halos wala man spiritual dyan. And then they want the favor of Yahweh to bless those items. It cannot be. Because Yahweh will only favor those who are according sa kanyang direction. But a man of wicked intentions, he will condemn. Kasi ito, wicked intention, number one, to take advantage of his neighbor, his fellow man, and also to promote himself, to bring him into more advantageous position. God will condemn. Verse 3, a man is not established by wickedness, but the root of the righteous cannot be moved. So ito, yung first line niya, a man is not established by wickedness. Hindi ka may establish. Ito ngayon, kung tayo, if we read the Bible, if we see mga statements, facts as this, ma-remind tayo. Ma-remind tayo na, wait a minute, why many people trying to establish themselves with the material things of this world? Thinking na the more material things you have, established ka na. That is actually a deception, di po ba? To the point, maraming mga tao, halimbawa sa kanilang dealing, sa kanilang trabaho, sa kanilang business, they will, they will lie. Mandadaya sila. Ano yun? Mandadaya. Di ba? Mandadaya sila, and so they can gain. Because the gain they think they will be established in this life. Pero ito, kung if you read the Bible, kung if you are a Bible reader and you believe what the Bible is telling us, a man is not established by wickedness. Kung sa wicked way mo na gain yung mga bagay, you will never be established. Kahit you can have half of the wealth, riches ng mundo, you're still not established. Why? Because yung kaparaanan ay wicked eh. So, ang pinag-usapan, yung sa papanong paraan mo na nag-gain ng mga bagay na yan. O hindi ka naman nandaya, o hindi ka naman whatever yung mga, hindi ka naman nag-deceive ng tao. Yes, good. That's the most obvious. Pero going back to who we are as Christians, the reason why Yahweh, Elohim, set the Israelites free from the slavery in Egypt, so they can have their free time, so they can have their freedom to worship Yahweh and attend yung kanyang mga feasts. That's the reason why. No? Ngayon, tayong mga Christians, we were set free from the bondage of sin. Why don't we have, or bakit wala ngayon tayong time to worship Yahweh and attend His feast? Why? That means we went back to Egypt. Oh, yun ang yung ano diyan, hindi ka nandadaya o hindi ka nanloloko, kanina ko ba gustong maisip, nanloloko ng mga tao, so you're not doing wicked. But are you the person that His reason in setting you free from the slave of sin is becoming? If it is not becoming, maybe that is another thing na we can pray to God and make us who we supposed to be. Ayan. A man is not established by wickedness, but the root of the righteous cannot be moved. Yung root ng mga righteous, number one, if we base our lives sa salita ng ating Panginoon, this is from eternity. Ang kanyang habilin sa atin, this is from eternity. And it is good for eternity. So, kung we are already living the life that is based from eternity and it is good for eternity, we will remain. Yun ang sinasabi nito. Cannot be moved. You cannot move that. At least for the moment, we look like we're in the kumbaga disadvantage sa let it. Hindi pa naman tapos to eh. Verse 4, an excellent wife is the crown of her husband, but she who causes shame is like rottenness in his bones. Here, I'm trying to see if the reason why she causes shame is because she committed adultery ba? The answer is more obvious na no. Hindi yun ang pinag-uusapan dito. Kasi once a woman commit adultery, you can just easily get her out of the door during the time ni King Solomon. Pag nagkasala ka, out. Hindi na siya rottenness sa iyong bone. Just, ang mga babae kasi noon, their property. So you can just easily get rid of them. So anong ibig sabihin ni King Solomon na an excellent wife is the crown of her husband, but she who causes shame is like rottenness in his bones. Well, we should always go back to the design ng asawang babae sa asawang lalaki. Because ang asawang babae is the helper of the man. Kaya kung ikaw ay isang Kristiyano, isang lalaki na isang Kristiyano, so you have a calling from Yahweh. And now, He will bless you a helper to assist you to that calling you have or we have. Di ba? So makita mo, if the wife is completing the things that you cannot do because of your busyness in doing your calling as a head of the household, that is a crown. Wow, nandyan lahat. Hindi ako ma-defocus. I can focus in what Yahweh wants me to do. Yan ang lalaki. Kaya nga binigyan ka ng helper dahil each person dapat meron silang calling, a mission to do for His Creator. So, but she who causes shame is like rottenness in his bones. Ibig sabihin, those who are not fulfilling what they supposed to do sa kanilang mga husbands, that is a rottenness sa kanilang mga bones. Well, hindi na natin pag-usapin yung mga mahirap kausap, yung ayaw makinig sa, hindi na yon. Obvious na yun eh. Mga worst type na ang mga iyan. Pero yung hindi mo na fulfill your role to your husband, that your husband has a calling. Kaya kung mga husband na walang calling, mga wives, pag-pray ang mga husbands na walang calling. You have to pray because unang-una, Yahweh will give the direction sa lalaki. Yan ang order. Kaya nga pag binibigay na niya yung direction sa babae, abnormal na yan. Yung lalaki, clogged siya. hindi marinig yung direction coming from Yahweh. So, an excellent wife is the crown of her husband. I think for the single people, maganda na one thing that we look for a woman is one who is ready to come along and be of helper sa isang taong may calling. At sa mga babae naman, always consider na encourage the husband. O kaya, look what you can serve your husband in order for you to become the crown, magiging crown kanya. Verse 5, the thoughts of the righteous are right, but the counsels of the wicked are deceitful. So, ito na naman yung righteous at saka wicked. Ang mga pag mag-isip ang righteous ay maganda siya eh. Serving siya sa kanyang kapwa. Pleasing siya sa kanyang Panginoon. But the counsels of the wicked are deceitful. Pag sila ay nagpaplano naman yung paano nila take advantage ang kanilang kapwa. Paano sila maka-gain pa dyan. Magkapera, kasama na dyan yung mga crime, mga iba't ibang klaseng crime na binabalak nila. Of course, ma-include na natin dito. No? Verse 6, the words of the wicked are, lie in wait for blood, but the mouth of the upright will deliver them. So ito, yung pag magsalita, sabi, the words of the wicked are lie in wait for blood. Ito yung mga wicked, pag sa pananalita nila para maano kanila makuha kanila to the point. May mga violent na mga plano dyan sa atin, yung mga sabihin na natin yung kidnapping o kaya yung assassination, ibig sabihin yung patayan, yung mga gano'n ang mga pinaplano nila eh. The words of the wicked are lying wait for blood. Merong nasasaktan, may magiging biktima. But the mouth of the upright will deliver them. So ngayon sa pananalita ng mga righteous naman ay sila nadi-deliver from such danger or from such trouble. The last one is verse 7. The wicked are overthrown and are no more, but the house of the righteous will stand. Ito po it's almost the same as verse 3. No? The wicked are overthrown and are no more, but the house of the righteous will stand. Well, alam po natin ang pagka-create ng ating Panginoong Yahweh dito sa mundong ito. He meant for man to live. Mag-start sa Garden of Eden, and then doon sila mag-i-start expansion until the next the whole world is Garden of Eden. Pero hindi po yun ang nangyari. Nagkasala ngayon ng tao, and then ngayon nag-spread yung kasalanan to every man na napanganak dito sa mundong ito except ang ating Panginoong Yeshua. So now, instead na yung planong i-fill niya ng mga tao ang mundong ito with beautiful people and human being, ay hindi. Lahat ay marumi. So ngayon, ang gagawin niya, ang ginawa pala niya, He sent His Son to invite everyone, restore doon sa pagiging corrupt. So yung lahat ng tatanggap, maniwala sa invitation ng ating Panginoong Yahweh, those will be set apart. And then the rest, wawalisin niya to. Wawalisin niya lahat ng naiwan. Yan ang mga wicked. Pero pagkatapos mawalis, ilalagay niya ngayon, okay, ito yung mga hindi corrupt. Now live forever diyan sa mundong yan. Yun po ang verse 7. The wicked are overthrown and are no more, but the house of the righteous will stand. Kaya ito ang challenge sa atin. Tayo po ba, do we want to continue doing the things we just want to do and refuse to listen what Yahweh, the instruction that He is telling us? Oh well, we can decide now. If we say, no, I'm not interested sa instruction ni Yahweh, then that you belong to the wicked. Meaning, you belong to those people na one day may malaking walis. Wow! Wawalisin niya itong mundong ito. You be no more. But at least sa ngayon, nagawa mo yung gusto mong gawin. Yung buhay mo, you were able to do it according sa iyong preference. That's fair. But you have may number ang days mo. Your days are numbered according to the plan of God. Pero ngayon, say, hindi natin marami tayong nakikita, gusto dyan eh. Okay, kahit hindi natin nakukuha yun o hindi na napapasa atin, pero alam natin, tayo mananatili dito pag winalis ng ating Panginoong Yahweh, itong mundong ito, mananatili ka. Yun ang buhay talaga. Yun ang, you're talking about security, talking about peace, talking about joy, talking about life na you can really just enjoy it. Sa ngayon ay at times we enjoy, and yet later on ay iba na naman. Iyon ay talagang platonic siya, na klaseng joy and peace when we are with Yahweh. Yan po ang ating Proverbs of the day.
Ayan.
Salamat po.
Opo, Pastor. Maraming salamat po, Pastor Ram, dito sa explanation nyo dito sa may Proverbs chapter 12. And one quick question po, Pastor, dito sa verse 1. Whoever loves instruction loves knowledge, but he who hates correction is stupid. Pastor, itong instruction ba na ito ay generally speaking, yung instruction na napapaloob sa pagsunod sa mga matatanda, sa mga magulang, or plainly po, Pastor, it has something to do with the the instruction na ibinigay sa atin na ating Panginoong Diyos, which is yung kanyang banal na salita.
Yes. May minor yan minor at major.
Opo.
Yung batang marunong makinig sa kanyang parents o sa lolo niya, that is already a container, a kind of heart.
Opo.
Kahit na hindi pure na tama yung instructions naman ngayon ng kanyang mga parents or mga grandparents, ganon, at least yan ay dadalhin ni Yahweh ang klaseng puso na someday mamimit niya yung pure na instruction
Opo.
coming from Yahweh. Yan. Pero ang context dito, mainly ay yung instruction ni Yahweh. Yung marunong kang makinig, you love to hear yung instruction, that is why mapupuno ka ng knowledge.
Opo, Pastor. So parang, Pastor, if you are that container sa mismong salita ng ating Panginoong Diyos, you're making yourself na parang pwedeng mabless ka na ating Panginoon to mga favors na ating Panginoon sa iyo. Unang-una, yung you will be saved, magiging maayos ang buhay mo dito sa mundong ibabaw and everything. So ito po yung sinasabi, Pastor, dito sa mga preceding verse po ng chapter 12, Pastor, ng Proverbs.
Oh yes, pwede rin. In their context.
In their context.
Pero in their context. Remember, ang context nila ay Mosaic Covenant yan God, Yahweh doesn't own the entire Israel. Ang own niya lang dyan ay yung mga firstborn and then later ang mga Levites. Pero sa buong Israel, he established a covenant. Sa ating new covenant naman, he owns every saved person. Kaya sa atin, whatever he will do sa ating buhay, we always say, Amen. That's all we can do because he owns us. Hindi yung katulad ng how he related sa mga tao under sa Mosaic Covenant. We have a different covenant. Kaya dito, when he says, he favors you, it is some kind of favor according sa kanyang definition. Kaya dito, hindi pwedeng i-apply yung, kasi noon sa Mosaic Covenant, once you are obedient sa kanyang salita, i-bless ka niya physically, materially, spiritually, emotionally, i-bless ka niya lahat sa mga bagay na yun But we have another covenant we are living in. Kasi now, once you believe in our Adonai Yeshua, for one, ay i-cleanse ka niya sa iyong mga kasalanan, i-empower ka niya ng kanyang banal na espiritu. Now, you will engage sa kingdom of God. Totally different ang experience ng mga nasa old and Mosaic covenant sa ating ngayon. Tayo ngayon, we are actually as a disposal ng ating Panginoong Yahweh. The quicker that we think we have no rights whatsoever, the better. Kasi we're trying to create a different direction when we still think we have a right sa buhay na ito. No, our rights should be surrendered with our Yahweh because we are under sa new covenant. So whatever He will do, He knows what He's doing. He's a loving God. He's a gentle Lord. Whatever He will do, He knows what He's doing. And for us, is we say, Amen.
Yes.
Yes, Pastor. Maraming salamat po. Pastor, what can you say po, Pastor, dun sa mga Kristiyano na they are doing good things in order for them to have a favor coming from the Lord? Just like yung mga pinapanalangin po nila sa kanilang career or even yung mga bagay po na dinidesire ng puso nila. Is that right po na we do things out of yung motivation po natin is yung may ibibigay sa atin na pabor ang ating Panginoon in the long run?
Well, for one is ang danger niyan is you create your own God. You have to understand muna ano yung covenant niya sa New Testament, no? Yung new covenant that we know.
Okay.
Before you create, before you imagine, look at your materials. Ano ba yung tinuturo ng New Testament sa atin? Is that really, he is saying na once you are obedient, all these things will happen to you.
Yes, opo.
Ang isang pinangako niya, yung you will have food to eat. You will have clothes to wear.
Opo.
Actually, those are the most assured na pangako ng ating Panginoong Yahweh. Pero itong mga ambition natin, dapat ganito tayo. Ini-standard natin yung favor ni Yahweh kung ano yung nakikita natin sa mundo eh.
Opo.
O, ako nakatira sa 2-bedroom na bahay, pero ang mga co-workers ko, 5 bedrooms. Parang ako'y hindi favored. Ganun ang kaisipan ng tao eh. O ako, nagdadrive ng Toyota, ba't ang mga co-workers ko, nagdadrive sila Mercedes-Benz? Hindi ako favored, sasabihin niya. Parang ganun, nagsiset sila ng standard eh. You are highly favored by Yahweh.
Opo, yun yung
Because
sinasabi
you
po
will
nila.
not only, yes, you will not only experience this life yourself, you will be in the life after this life. That is highly favored already.
Yes.
Ayun. Set the standard according sa teaching, according sa materials ng ating point. That's reality for a
Yes.
Christian. But
So-
do not create a project na the materials is not supplying you. Kaya nga hirap na hirap ka eh. You keep on pulling even to the point you pull yourself back again Egypt just to meet the project or the or the ideal life that you created for you and your family. Hindi na ang pag-worship natin kay Yahweh ang
Opo.
important ngayon, kundi meeting that idea you created sa isip mo.
Opo, ayan.
I think, Pastor, is the part of someone's desire po, is that it could be affected there? The favor
The desire?
po? Yeah.
The desire.
One's
Yeah.
desire, yeah.
That's true. Yeah, the desire. If you submerge, if you soak, if you expose yourself with the Word of God, basically your desire is in line with His will. That's
Yes.
what it is. And, yeah, you have your desire in line with His will. You will see them will come to pass because
Yes.
you will be favored by Yahweh. And of course, we have to separate personal desire and desire that was birthed by your reading and understanding the Word of God.
Ayun, Pastor, if I got it right, Pastor, yung nabanggit niyo po kanina, the things that we can claim as a blessing or favor ng ating Panginoon is something na yung provision po natin ay hindi mawawala.
Yeah.
And also, Pastor, pwede po ba natin i-consider din yung protection ng ating Panginoon on a daily basis po?
Ang protection is assure na yan eh. Ang bawat isa sa atin, numbered yung days natin. And
Yes,
he knows, he's the only one who knows hanggang ilan yung number natin. So whatever he declared, that's what it is. So sa atin is every morning we wake up and we're still part of this we call it life. Thank you Yahweh. My number is still part of this. Yun lang. But we cannot say pag ikaw ay you're serving the Lord faithfully, aabot ka ng 90 years. No, who said that? Wala yan sa Bible eh. Di ba? We're only thinking. Hindi ka na ingatan. Sasabihin,
Yes.
no, that was your number. That's the number of your day. Mas maganda yung ganun natin i-set ang ating mga kaisipan. Kaya nga dito, we say, oh, ang bait naman niya, ba't siya namatay?
Ayun, opo.
Oh, ang sama ng taong to, ang tagal niyang mamatay. Meron tayong mga gano'n na mga kasabihan eh. It is up to him. Siyang nag-set ng number of days sa bawat tao.
Yes. Pastor, meron pong sinabi sa Bible na yung sa verse 2 po na sinabi niyo po na the direction na isi-set natin kung ito ay may kinalaman sa direction na gustong i-pursue ng ating Panginoon natin ay we will kinda gain yung pleasure na ating Panginoon. Sabi po sa Bible is tayo ang nagbabalak pero ang Panginoon ang siyang nagpapatupad. Pero how do you find, Pastor, those Christians na they are the one releasing the favor. Just like yung nabanggit nyo po kanina, yung common phrase na sasabihin na, you are highly favored by the Lord. Yung inaano po nila, parang sinasabi nila in their mouth, declaring sa isang tao. Is it healthy po ito na yung mismong tayo pong mga human ang magsabi ng blessing sa ating mga kapwa?
Oh well, at times kasi yan, I see it as almost a witchcraft. They create their own world, na parang they create their own realm, na the more you, kasi galing yan sa sa positive confession, that
Yes,
started way back. Actually, ang number one na nag-a-advocate ngayon sa bagay na yan, unknowingly, ay coming from a very famous book na naging naging worldwide, yung Purpose Driven Life. Meron pong naka-insert dyan na ganyan na mga katuruan. Yung positive confession, pag sinabi mo, mangyayari. So kung sinabi mo pala, mangyayari, say something positive. Kaya sa kapwa-tao mo, sasabihin mo, oh, you are highly favored kapatid, at ikaw ipagpapalain ng Diyos. Bakit mo sinasabi yon? Dahil yun ang mangyayari sa tao. But where is that in the Bible? What if that person is actually living in sin? What if that person is actually not a born-again person, but he just appears because nagpupunta sa church? Who are we to release that kind of... So they
Yes.
create their own world. They create their own world, but it's not the world that... it's not reality kung titingnan natin ang Bible. Tayo we're just all... Kung titingnan mo ang Bible, we're just all servants waiting for the command for the day. Yun dapat tayo. Hindi yung we create a kingdom na para tayo na ang boss at lahat na lang ay will obey sa ating mga command. Yun ang yan ang mga taong who pursue that kind of belief.
Pastor, may element po ba yun na they are trying to make us little gods by the power of confession? May
Meron.
element po ba yun na they want us
Meron yan.
to parang build in our minds na whatever we tend to think, whatever we tend to confess ay pwedeng mangyari? Pwede po ba natin
Meron.
sabihin na ganun po yung elemento nun, Pastor?
Tama, eksakto yan. Yung we supposed to be little gods.
Little gods.
So whatever we say will come to pass. Yung mga bagay, that is witchcraft. Where is that in the Bible? Kaya nga, ang pinaka-safest for us para tayo ay makaiwas, maprotect sa mga ganun na mga fly-by-night na theology, ay we should be Bereans. We should read the Bible. Tingnan mo, all you have to do is just read plainly the Bible. You don't need to interpret it. Read your Bible every day. Once you hear a unsound doctrine teaching, you will know, you will say, your spirit will say, wait a minute, that's contrary to how I read the Bible. O, alam mo yan, simple na tao lang. Yung pinaka problema kasi ngayon, many sa mga churchgoers do not read their Bible. Kaya nga naroon ng room, yung mga ganun na klaseng doctrine became not only was able to enter the church, but became accepted and became popular.
Ayan, maraming salamat po, Pastor, dyan sa explanation niyo. Pastor, dito naman sa nabanggit nyo kanina about dun sa mga husband na they have a calling. What mga particular callings po yung lahat ng mga husband or mga men ay may pagkakatawag sa ating Panginoon?
Oh yes. Well, when I say calling, meron talagang papagawa ang Panginoon sa bawat lalaki.
Opo.
Okay, sa bawat lalaki in a given household. But not necessarily preaching the gospel
Opo.
or leading a Bible study or a worship leader. No, those are the only few of the many callings na pwedeng gawin ng lalaki. Kung ang lalaki ay he was called to make sure ang kanyang mga anak are established by the Word of God, at make sure they will not pursue any job that will hinder or that will stop their worship and their service to Yahweh. If that is the calling of every husband in a given household, that is already a decent calling. Ang mga anak nila, you don't know what will they become basta meron kang calling. So, every man may calling siya sa Panginoon. At ang role ng babae is to help ang kanyang husband for that calling to come to pass. Yun. O yan ang order eh. Kaya nga, nauunang kumakausap ang ating Panginoong Yahweh sa asawang lalaki. Ayan.
Pastor, may mga po kasi, mga instances na yung isang lalaki ay may calling, tinatawag nilang pastor. Pero sometimes parang may mga naririnig ako within the evangelical din na kapag yung asawa is pastor, ang tawag nila sa asawang babae ng pastor ay pastora. Is that a big deal na may calling yung asawang lalaki? And they also consider it na yung asawang babae ay pastora in the making.
Yeah. Meron tayong kagrupo within the evangelical. That's how they consider it. Pero kung titingnan mo ang Bible, walang pastora eh. Wala yung pastora ang nagpapastor. Dahil asawa lang siya ng makikita mo ay parang nilalabas mo siya sa tahanan. Pag gano'n. But di ba, ang babae, siya yung ilaw ng tahanan. Kaya kung alisin mo yung ilaw sa tahanan, makikita mo, may mga parts na, may mga areas na mapapabayaan yung bahay. At huwag nating ilagay ang babae sa pedestal na she doesn't belong there. Ang babae ay should be around kung ano yung, kaya nga makikita mo, pag ang asawang babae ay is not behaving na as if ang in charge ay ang kanyang asawang lalaki, masagwang tingnan kahit sa public. Ang babae should be, kumbaga, should stand with her man, ika nga. Tapos gagawin mo siya ng pastora just because pastor yung kanyang, I will not. Some groups within the evangelical, they do that. Pero, it's not a healthy sight. Hindi po siya healthy sight. Dapat ang lalo na the way we see our group denomination ay dapat ang lalaki siya yung pastor.
Pastor, also previous my past life, I usually saw lots of wife of pastor because of their loud voice at the church.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of destroy at church.
Yeah. Okay. Because of the pastors' wives, they have a louder voice.
Maybe po.
Or maybe you're saying they suggest a lot of things.
Yes.
They have many decisions and everything. Yes, absolutely. It should be only one. The decision. Example, you are the pastor, and then you have a wife. You should talk that in the house. So when you talk in the church, only the pastor is talking. It's not both of you are talking. You don't know where the direction is. So that's where the trouble can actually happen. Dapat just keep it down. Later we will talk, and then you talk at home. And then when you go to church, only the pastor is the one talking. So it will be one direction.
Yes po.
Yun.
Pastor, when it comes to the decision making of a pastor, sometimes may mga scenario po na yung decision making ng pastor is doon lang sa church. Pero when it comes doon sa family matters, parang may mga instances po na parang mas nag-go over loop ang isang wife sa kanyang asawang lalaki. Ano pong masasabi natin pag ganun, Pastor? Dapat ba pagka sa decision making, either sa church or within the family, may voice pa rin ng babae, pero yung last decision must have to come sa lalaki pa rin po ba?
Madali naman yung final decision ay sa lalaki or even
Opo.
sa mga other decisions. As long na yung lalaki, ginagawa niya yung role niya.
Opo.
Pag ginawa ng lalaki yung role niya, responsibility niya bilang husband, bihira yung ang babae hindi makikinig sa kanya. Meron tayong part to do.
Yes.
Pag meron tayong part na hindi nagagawa, yun ang grounds na nagkakaroon ng authority yung asawa natin over us.
Yes.
Kasi we neglected yung mga bagay na dapat gawin natin eh. But when we do it, when we done lahat yan, she will remain kung nasa yung place niya sa pamilya. And it's well with her. It's well with her. Kaya nga, halimbawa, when you're about to marry someone, it's good to see the background ng tao. Kasi sometimes may mga taong ang kanyang ang pamilya nila ay nakita niya irresponsible yung kanyang father at saka ang mother niya sa yung lahat ng gumawa. Doon siya na-mold ngayon. Okay? Na-mold siya dyan. And then, makakapag-asawa siya, tendency, she wants to bring herself to what she witnessed sa kanyang mother.
Yes.
Yun. Dapat i-correct yun. Tranquilo. Ano ka muna, maghudos dili ka. Kasi you have a husband here that will do everything. Yan. Don't be like your mother. Because your father was irresponsible, now you're acting like your mother. Don't do that. Now you're safe here. Just relax and enjoy your role as a housewife. Yung ganun, dapat alam natin yung background nila. Where they're coming from. Yes.
Opo, Pastor, kasi right now, compared dun sa panahon po nila noon, ay yung mga babae is just a property, and sa panahon po naman po natin ngayon, parang minsan mas higher achiever yung isang babae compared naman sa kanyang asawang lalaki. Kaya minsan, ang pag pinag-uusapan yung educational attainment and everything, parang minsan, yun ang nangingibabaw kaysa sa considering kung ang lalaki naman ay going to church, Kristiyano, pero ba't ganun po yung mindset ng tao? They give high regard sa mga either babae po or lalaki. They give high regard sa ano po yung position, educational attainment ng isang tao compared po sa isang tao na namumuhay ayon sa katwiran at kabanalan po ng ating Panginoon.
Oh yes. Well, for one is, yun ang naging standard natin. Naging
Yes.
standard na yan. There is something to admire, to respect yung mga natapos sa pag-aaral. Because makita mo, they're disciplined already the way they think. I think I appreciate that sa mga taong nag-aral. But that's all I can have for them. Now I have to look at how they use their education, how they practice their degree. Sometimes nakahawak sila sa degree nila eh. That's nothing. Pero makita mo yung tao after all ng kanyang attainment, may he or she still knows her place. Halimbawa sa loob ng church, I like that. Mas irespeto ko yung mga ganun na tao. And sabi ko nga, sa loob ng church, why do we exalt those who finish a degree more than those who bring souls to the church? Kaya ngayon, ang church, iba yung kanilang paningin to what is important. Dapat, ang gawa niya ay let's exalt those who bring more souls to the Lord, whether may education yan, attainment o wala. Magsisimula ngayon yung mga kapatiran. That's how those are the people that will look up, that they magkakaroon ng panibagong standard. Hindi yung dahil may degree siya and everything, dahil may position siya sa trabaho. Kaya ang mga tao ngayon, that's all they're working for. Kasi yun ang ina-admire. Yes, should not. You've not.
Pastor, ano po yung comment nyo sa mga taong they don't want to join a ministry na sinasabi nila ang ministry nila ay yung sa trabaho po nila. Doon po sila nagbi-minister without considering yung pwede silang maglingkod sa loob ng iglesia. Pero ang sinasabi po nila ay tinawag ako ng Panginoon dito sa trabaho ko, so I can minister dito sa aking mga ka-workmate.
Well, ang ministry kasi, to all places you are, is your ministry. Wala siyang certain place eh. Kung nag-aating ka ng church, you should have a ministry there. Kung nasa trabaho ka, that is also your ministry. Kumbaga, ministry na you look for opportunity to tell who Yeshua is about the gospel of God. Hindi yung may clock in, clock ba yung ministry? I don't think so. Yung ministry is the moment you open your eyes, that's the time you close your eyes and get your sleep. Yun lang ang break mo. But paggising mo na naman, ministry na naman yan. Wala naman particular place. Kundi the entire moment na you were awake and you were moving, meeting people, that is your ministry. Bawa you nasa church ka, you are a pastor, and then meron kang nakitang tao na you can talk about the gospel, and sasabihin mo, okay, hindi ako, this is not my ministry. My ministry ay sa church. Cannot be.
Yeah.
So ministry is any given opportunity that Yahweh will open to us and to share the gospel, or even to demonstrate what is a Christ-like kind of person or an employee.
Ayan. Any more questions, Sir Onbi, before I go with my last question for the proverb?
I have one question po, Pastor. From verse 5, it was mentioned of virtuous women. Everyone, they grew up in different circumstances. So what if they haven't had yet to learn something in a right way po? Maybe it could be affected from their family or any situation. It might be occurred po.
Everyone has to start to recognizing the Lord Yeshua. Everyone, and then after that, now you can start constructing the person. But if without Yeshua, there is no, you cannot build a structure when the foundation, there's a problem with the foundation. So the foundation has to change, and we have to bring them to Yeshua first, to Jesus, and then you can build from their own.
Is that also part of those people who are just familiar with only or focused with their position at the church? Are those same people also, Pastor?
Yes, everyone. Especially those who have position in the church. Dapat born again sila. At dapat nababago sila. They should be changing, transforming as they count days in the being a Christian. Yun.
Ayan. Pastor, one last question po before we move on to our greeting time. Pastor, why do most of the people choose to or pretend to be knowledgeable compared to others? Pero the reality is they're not. May factor po ba, Pastor, na ayaw po nating mapahiya, kaya sometimes kahit na tinuturuan na tayo, ayaw po nating makinig?
Many reasons yan eh. Bakit ayaw makinig ng tao pretending that he understands. Number one is nandun na yung pride ng tao. Secondly ay baka ayaw niyang ma-change yung kanyang routine. Yun usually yung tao eh. Pero kung tayo ay born again, kung tayo totoong nakakilala sa ating Panginoong Yeshua, we should not be that person. We should start from the base. Kung talagang hindi natin alam, hindi natin alam. Hindi yung we pretend na we know. Kaya you will may stuck ka doon sa area niyan.
Opo.
Kasi you're pretending that you know when people around you, they could have taught you or trained you. Pero hindi ka. Parang alam mo yan eh. So mawawala na ngayon yung mga taong yan. Another set of people sa buhay mo, hindi mo man na-utilize, na maximize yung presence ng mga tao that Yahweh sent surrounding you. You're supposed to grab, bawa ito, knowledgeable siya sa particular talent, pero kang natutunan ng konti. Ito, particular skills. Ito naman, gift, yon. Because the people around us will change later on after 5 years, yung different sets na naman. So iba na naman ang the next thing you know, all the people that you came to know, if you're humble, you learn a little bit of whatever skills, talents, gifts that they possess. So you're growing. Pero if you pretend, you pretend that you know, sayang yung mga nilalagay ng ating Panginoon people around us. Talo. Talo yung ganon.
Opo. Pastor, I always hear it from you every now and then, to be in the ministry, you need to be willing to be humiliated, and you need also yung parang you also need na kailangan madumihan yung kamay mo. So gaano po crucial po, Pastor, sa isang gustong pumasok sa ministry, yung handa kang mapahiya at you're willing na to let your hands be madumihan.
That's right. Because sa industry is para ka lang kung papasok sa military. Pagpasok mo sa military, you cannot choose na ako gusto ko pag when I shoot my gun in a sitting position. You cannot be. Even though you're excellent shooting people in your sitting position. What if you are in a place na there are no chairs to sit? What if you are in a they call this putik, yung mud. Nasa mud ka. Ang taong to get into the ministry, he should be able to he should be willing to accept any given situation. Sometimes you get humiliated, that's fine, because you want to serve it. Hindi yung mamimili ka. If you're avoiding something in the ministry, wala, matatagalan ka bago ka matrain. Pero let's say sa Baguio, and I will train someone. When someone is ready to be trained, ayan, you will really mapipil ka mapipil ka na minsan makita ko yung mga nag-change ng nag-Google. Ayaw ko ano yung ina-apply nila sa
Maxipil po, yung Maxipil.
Maxipil. Pulang-pula sila, di ba? Pulang-pula sila, pero siguro pag mapil na yun, ay lalabas yung new skin nila, di ba?
Opo. Yes, opo.
Na ganun yun. Sa ministry ay talagang ipipil mo siya. Alisin mo yung lumang perspective mo. That's my part when I train people. Dito sa Las Vegas, I'm training people from a distance, most of them. I'm only teaching them the hermeneutics. Pero hindi ko sila pwedeng masampal Hindi ko sila pwedeng masampal na left and right. Hindi ko sila pwedeng i-peel like I'm doing sa how I train dyan sa Baguio. There is a different expectation pag dumaan ka sa training natin dyan. That means you undergone sa training ni Pastor Rock. Siguro masabi natin yun.
Ayan. So, maraming salamat po, Pastor, for patiently answering our follow-up questions. And we're up to our first hour together, and right now we would want to encourage you to send in your questions po. As early as now, truly marami po tayong mga nuggets of truths na natutunan sa gabing ito. But feel free to send in also your reaction, comments about sa bagay po na dinidiscuss po natin dito sa Bible Cafe. And right now, we're up to the next part ng ating program, and that is yung pinaka masaya, yung greeting portion ng Bible Cafe. Ayan. Pastor,
Okay.
can we greet our viewers right now? Pangungunahan pa po tayo ni Sister Unbi. Ayan.
Alright.
I can see those who are watching here. Anyway, nice to see you guys again po here. Those who just came in, always welcome. Welcome.
Yeah, welcome.
Shalom. I can see here Sister Crema po as hello po. Hello. Sister Vilda, our tita. Hello po. Sister Malu, tita, hello po. Say hello also Brother Fernand po. We miss him.
Yes.
Sister Anna, hi, good evening. Sister Hyra, happy birthday.
Happy birthday
Happy
to
birthday. Brother Allen. Brother Allen. Sabi ni Hyra a while ago in the comment.
Ayun.
Rebecca is also watching daw po. Hi Rebecca. Yeah. Brother Allen also watching us. Watching Bible Cafe po. Good evening po. Sister Kyungeun, Sophie. Hi. Even Kimberly also watching us po. Hi Kim.
Hello.
Brother Salvador.
Salvador, yes.
Salvador, hello po.
Salvador.
Yeah. And then Sister Kate from the brother. Oh no.
Who else? Go
no.
ahead.
Oh no, what's wrong? Hi Kate. Anyway, nice to see you here, really.
Yes, of course.
And then Sister Herolyn, hi ate. Sister Vilma, hello po. And then Brother
Vilma who?
Vilma Santos?
Yeah, Vilma Kayaban po.
Kayaban, ayun.
Yes.
Okay.
And then and then Brother Suza po. Hello po. In morning, right?
Yes,
Brother.
she said.
Good morning po. Brother Zerod. And then Brother Jonathan, Brother Edeline po. Sister Rosana also. Hello po. And then Sister Portia also watching us po. Hi.
Okay.
Yeah. And then Brother Di Branda.
Yes, of
Yes,
course.
hello po. And then Sister Lynn?
Yeah, Sister Lynn.
Yeah, Sister
Hello.
Lynn
Welcome.
po. And then Sister Tanya, our ate.
Okay.
Hello po. Those are all I can see here po, brother.
So ayan, so habang bumabati po kami ay please feel free to send in your questions. Sabi po ni Ma'am Crema Kanlapan, good Thursday po sa lahat. Bible Cafe family, sabi po niya. Sabi rin po ni Dabawenyo Macho, hello Kuya Dens and Unbi, sabi po niya. Sabi rin ni Sister Malu Vergara, hello my Bible Cafe family, beautiful day to all of us. May God bless us each morning, sabi po niya. Ayan. Sabi rin ni Brother Alan De Castro, good morning po, Pastor Ram. Bible Cafe time na po, sabi niya. Ayun. Who else do we have, Sister Unbi?
My mom is watching also po. And then Sister Rick po.
Who?
Pastor Rick Oitas Jr.
Pastor po. Pastor, yes.
Also with Ma'am Marilu E. Balestero is joining us. Welcome po Ma'am dito sa Bible Cafe. Also kay Ma'am Susette Mariano. Sabi po niya, good morning Bible Cafe family. And sabi ni Brother Jonathan, praise Yahweh, it's Bible Cafe time. Good morning, good evening mga kabike. Shalom Pastor Ram and dear brethren in Baguio City Studio. Sabi rin ni Ma'am Edeline Yabut Oitas, good morning and good evening po mga kapatid sa Panginoon. Sabi ni Ma'am Rosana Sunflowers, hello my Bible Cafe family and hi kay Ma'am Lynn Lucas. Ayan. Sabi rin po Pastor ni Brother Jonathan, amen, so true. Sabi nga po ng kantang Bilin ni Pastor, Kay sarap mahalin ang bunga ng dalangin. Ayan. Kanta yun. Okay?
And Manang Tesu so watching po. Hi, Tita.
Also kay Aldwin Aviles Callejo, welcome Mainsan dito sa Bible Cafe. Ayan. And sabi ni Brother Jerome Talikol Hiron, good morning everyone. I-share po natin sa social media ang Bible Cafe. It only takes a few clicks. Go, go, go! Sabi niya, let's do it. Ayan.
Alright.
And kay Ma'am Richmond Milaya Talikol is also joining us tonight. Kamusta na nga po kayo dyan? And Pastor, baka meron rin po kayong mga pagbati dyan sa may Las Vegas, Nevada.
Oh yes. Nandito si Sister Belen Moleski is watching also.
Ayan.
I'm sure watching with her husband. Maya Paabak, kinatamo. Sino hindi ko narinig na ginit niyo? Si Malu Samson Lacanilaw o Anano Hachi, Maya Paabak, Makapanalbeka. Mga Kapampangan to eh.
Ayun, dami po nila.
Sister Violi Datuin is also with us, watching us at the moment. Good morning po, Sis Violi. At sino pa yung hindi? Si Sir Errol Lakame is watching us. Good morning po, Sir Errol.
Hello, Sir Errol.
Good morning.
Sister Cory also.
Sister Cory who?
Cory Aquino?
Guevara po.
Gibara, okay. Gibara Olado.
Olado, yes, that's right.
Yes, Olado. Yan. Good morning, Sis Cory. Sabi ni Hyra, Lolo, sabi niya, good morning, Lolo, and to the BK, Rebecca is present. Ayan,
Ayan.
Si Rowell Dons Pulani is watching us.
Ayun.
Good morning, kapatid. Good evening sa inyo. Si Robert De Vera is watching us. Afternoon yata sa bandang Middle East. Kumusta na po? Sister Wilda is watching us.
Yes,
And sino pa? Ayun. Si is right there. Katabi mo. Si Sister Tin Alcoba Santos is also watching us. I believe sa San Pedro. Kayo, no, sis? Good evening. Good evening sa inyo dyan. Thank you for joining us for this episode. We have a character here. It's
yes, yung mama po ni Umbi. Dami.
Translator is here na
Ano
po.
ibig sabihin?
Okay.
She was telling us like bless, fulfill of bless.
The
How should I
program.
translate? Yeah, and program and with the staff, even the engineers po. And then
Oh, yan.
I'm praying daw po. That's it.
Ayun. Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Niejo, thank you for your prayers. Yan, woman of prayer yan.
And then she just mentioned that how are you, Pastor? And
Yun.
Kuya Dennis po.
Hello. We're fine po.
We're fine. Salamat po. Ayan. How are you there in Korea? Siguro mainit din sa Korea, no?
Yeah, 40 degree daw po.
Wow, so hot.
Wow. Okay. Para kang may lagnat.
Nagkukumbulsyon.
Ayan. Alright, sige. Do we have, what are our questions for the day? Yan.
Ayan, Pastor, meron po tayong isang question na pumasok. But before we're going to read it, sa mga late viewers po for tonight, you're watching Bible Cafe Live dito po sa Leader News Philippines, hatid po sa inyo ng Calvary Chapel, Baguio City. Ayan, so as early as now, you can send in your question para nang sa gayon ay meron po tayong mga fresh topic na mapag-uusapan. So, before Sister Unbi is going to read our first question for tonight, sabi po ni Sister Hiroline Hison, good evening. I'm glad to watch Bible Cafe live again. Supposedly po makakasama natin si Brother Ali, kaya lang po ay medyo na-busy po yata sila ngayon, so hindi po siya kasama. Also kay Shan. He's listening in Cavite. Ayan. Nasa Cavite pa po si Shan. Hello, Shan. Good evening sa inyo dyan sa Cavite. Also kay Brother Andy, kila Brother Marvin, and the rest of the gang. Ayan. So, now we're up to our first question for tonight. Babasahin po sa atin ni Sister Unbi.
Maybe I could read Brother Edeline po, because the first one, I think it will be better to read it by you, Brother Dennis po.
Okay, go ahead.
My question po, is ministry all about teaching and preaching God's words and serving other people? How about our service to our family, children, or parents? Are these plain responsibilities or can be considered a ministry also?
Ayun.
Okay, yan. Absolutely. Ano yan? Ministry. Ministry yung family. Siyempre, we have to cover the base muna. The more important ay yung where you are. And we often stay in the house, in our home. And in the home, there should be a ministry. Because the people with us are the ones that will really tell us who we are. If we are approved with the people na kasama natin sa bahay, much more, we are approved to the people outside. Hindi po dapat yung tayo maayos sa church. Tayo ay sabihin nating pastor tayo or tayo ay isang lingkod sa gawain, pero yung pamilya naman natin ay sinusuka tayo. That tells us exactly kung what kind of a person we are. Yes, the way we take care of our children, the way we take care of our spouse, the way we are sa ating parents, it should be well. Kasi yun ang diyan ka matetest first and foremost. At one time, we had a Bible school student sa Dumaguete. And the reason why he went to the Bible school is because he cannot stand yung kanyang family. He cannot stand his father. He cannot stand his yung mga kapatid niya. And so I told him na, do you know that once you mag-graduate ka sa Bible school, you will actively serve other people. That's what this school is for. They train you how to serve other people.
Yes,
if you cannot put up, kung hindi mo ma-take yung pamilya mo, how will you know na you will take yung error, mistake ng ibang tao? So you should be able to stand na dun sa mga pamilya mo muna. Kahit anong klase sila, you should do everything and everything. Dapat i-test mo yung sarili mo. Loved ones mo na yan kadugo mo na yan. Kahit nagre-refuse pa sila, continue to be Christ-like sa kanila. Well, hindi guarantee that they will listen or they will consider whatever you are saying. Walang guarantee po yan, pero you did your best. Ngayon, you get into the ministry, now you're free. Kasi you have done kung ano yung, I'm talking yung kausap kong Bible school student. Kaya to answer ang question ni Sister Edeline, absolutely. Absolutely. Imagine you raise one decent, godly, righteous child becoming a man. You never know what will be the impact nung iniraise mong anak. Para siya naman ay ipupursu niya yung what molded you as a mother o kaya what molded you as a father. Bakit ganun na lang kaayos yung pag-raise mo sa kanya? Now he wanna spread that. He wanna create many more families, many more mothers, many more fathers like you by preaching the gospel. Also now, hindi mo nagawa yun, but you prepared someone to do that very job. Kaya taking care of the family is a ministry. Absolutely.
Pastor, paano po natin i-breakdown yung kung gagawan po natin ng timetable, yung ministry, family, and anything pa po na personal na aspeto sa buhay ng isang Christian. Pwede po ba nating ma-breakdown po ito, Pastor?
Well, sa akin, whatever is in front of me is my ministry. Wala na akong table na ipapartition mo. Sabi nila, number 1 ay number 2. Not really. Ang sa akin is, kung ano lang yung nasa harapan ko, that's my ministry. Pag nasa bahay ako, I do everything I could to serve whatever is there. I clean, I cook, I serve my family. Yan. Pag naman nasa church ako, that's my ministry. Pag I'm with friends, that's my ministry. Kung ano lang yung nasa harapan ko, that is my ministry. Hindi yung, na-break mo na. Ito, iba naman yung nasa harapan mo. Hindi pa time yan. Sasabihin mo, wala sa table of content ko. Hindi yun. Yung mga corporate corporate structures kasi yan eh. Tinrain nila yung mga employees nila how to be one excellent, obedient slave. Sa atin, life. Life. Kung anong nasa harapan mo, that is your ministry.
Pastor, how do you find those people involved in the ministry na they're using the ministry as an excuse for them not to be able to do their duty or chores sa kanilang bahay, more especially sa mga kabataan po?
Yes. Tama. It should not be. Dapat meron din nagagawa sa bahay kahit na involved sila sa ministry. Little by little ang training natin sa mga kabataan. Hindi yung dahil involved sila in one ministry. Sabi ko nga, ito na lang ba ang option ng mga magulang ngayon? Kung hindi siya maging drug addict, you have to take yung laziness niya. Sabi sige, lazy ka na lang. Huwag ka na maging drug addict. Parang yun lang ba ang option natin sa mga anak natin ngayon? It should not be. Kumbaga, hindi ka lazy, hindi ka rin drug addict. Okay. Pwede ka naman serving the Lord and also helping sa bahay. Di ba? Pwede ring option yun. Ikatlong option. Kasi ang mga parents ngayon, sige na, kahit lazy ka, basta huwag ka drug addict. Wow, dalawa lang yung option. Nagdagan natin ng another option. Pwede kang maging drug addict, pwede kang maging lazy, pwede ka naman maging serving the Lord and helping sa bahay. Yun. I like that third option. Yun ang dapat ginagawa ng mga kabataan. Hindi just because meron silang ginagawa sa church, free na sila sa house chores. Should not be.
Pastor, one more quick question. How do you find those parents na since they cannot send their child sa isang college school, they tend to dispose them sa pagpasok sa isang Bible school? Total, may mga sponsor naman dito. And what are the probabilities, Pastor, na yung isang taong ipinush ng kanilang magulang dahil una, problema sila, or pangalawa, dahil di nila kaya yung pang-sustento sa schooling, ay doon na lang sa Bible school. Ano po pa yung probability na magiging maayos po yung magiging kalalabasan ng isang kabataan na sinend sa Bible school?
We never know kung ano, yung tao mismo, kung ano siya. It should determine kung how he or she will receive yung training sa Bible school. Pero dahil sometimes may dalawang klase yan eh. May mga voluntary, may involuntary way of placing the person in the ministry. Let's say ikaw ay mayaman and you can actually study sa Ateneo and marunong ka pa, pero ang sabi mo, andali, yan I will ended up serving man dyan eh. Magiging slave ako ng corporate work. I don't like that. I wanna serve my God. O punta ka ngayon sa Bible school and you receive training. Yun ang tinatawag na voluntary. Volunteer mo yung sarili mo. But there are times naman na Yahweh will bring you in a capacity where you cannot go to Ateneo or any Bible, any college. And then sasabihin mo, ay, wala akong pambayad. Punta na lang ako sa Bible college. So, punta ka sa Bible college and you were trained well. At yan ang involuntary. Kumbaga, na-force ka na mapunta dyan. Pero the same lang, ang idea ni Yahweh is for you to be exposed, to be trained, and then later He can use you.
Ayun.
Dalawang for me, I always look for the voluntary, hindi yung involuntary. Hindi yung i-change pa ni Yahweh ang aking kalagayan just to pay attention do sa gusto niya ipagawa sa atin. Why not do it while it's pleasant? Di ba? Why do I need to bakit ba aalisin lahat yung mga pleasant things sa atin before I can listen? I should listen while the things are pleasant.
Wow, opo. That's true, Pastor. Salamat po, Pastor.
I saw also those who were pushed by maybe their parents about their using talent. Maybe their parents want them to do. Because of that's involuntary, I think I saw some of them they just left out of the church book.
Yeah, that is forced. They were forced to do it. They did it because of their parents. Right?
Yeah.
Yes. That's why, look, I have 2 sons, and as much as possible, I present to them the word. But if they are not, if they do not have the calling to become a pastor, I will leave them there. But I'm sure the foundation is the Torah, is the Word of God. Eventually, Yahweh will lead them to do something. It's either a pastor or whatever in the church. Be an elder or be an advisor or be in the worship. That's good. Whatever is that Yahweh is calling them.
Ayan. Hello,
Don't
Jed.
force them.
Hello, Jed and Sec. Kamusta kayo dyan? Also, sabi po ni Ma'am Susette Mariano, Hyra Gamboa, happy birthday. We love you, sabi po niya. Ayan, happy birthday ulit. Sister Hyra, ano bang handa natin dyan? At sabi rin ni Jed Gamboa, huli ka, Hyra. Ha, ha, ha. Ayun. Sabi ni Brother Jed, huli ka daw.
And also my friend, she just entered to watch our program po.
Wow.
She's Omega po. Hi.
Omega.
I think she just got home maybe because of their class were finished late. Thank you for watching.
How about your other friend, Alpha?
Where are they?
Just kidding.
Where are they?
Pastor, we're up to our next question po. Ito po ay nanggaling kay Brother Alan with the indulgence of Brother Dabawenyo Macho. Hindi ko po mabasa dito, Pastor. Pero ito po yung question niya. Pastor Rama, may question po ako. Kung ang Diyos ay mabuti at mapagmahal, bakit pinahihintulutan niya ang kasamaan sa mga tao at sa buong mundo? Salamat po. So ito po yung tanong ni Brother Alan. Ayan.
Yes. All right. That is a salamat, Brother Alan. Good morning. Parang naunahan mo si Brother Ed.
Ayun, nauna si Brother Alan. Nice.
Kita dito pero hindi ko nakikita si Brother Ed. But anyways, after ng tanong na yan, I received some questions from our viewers also.
Opo, Pastor.
I will read. Let's entertain the first question. Ano po?
Okay po.
Well, ganito yan Brother Alan. Ang mundo na kinreate ng ating Panginoong Yahweh. Actually, ang design dito that this is the paradise already. So now, just because He gave man free will, yung free will natin, binigay niya at hindi niya pinapakialaman niya.
Yes.
So obviously, we know the story na they chose to eat the forbidden fruit. And now, it is a form of disobedience. Now, evil now is in them. So now that evil, He will let it, parang titingnan niya yung ending nito. And then so when He creates the new paradise, the new heaven and the new earth, it will be all proven. What will be yung naging cause, effect at final outcome ng kasalanan. Hindi mo na siya magi-intervene. Hindi niya pinapahintulutan because He enjoys, no? Because you will see the full effect of sin dito sa mundong ito. If we are in the millennium, if we are in the eternity, yes, we can say, bakit pinapahintulutan ng Panginoon? No, this is actually in the making na ito Hindi mo na ma-stop itong direction ng na-introduce ang sin sa mga tao. Alright. Hintayin lang natin yung Adonai willing, hintayin lang natin yung makarating tayo sa millennial. Doon makikita natin yung intervention ng ating Panginoong Yahweh in everything that will happen dito. Not just yet. Meron siyang timing. Not just yet. Every now and then, He intervenes with His angels and everything, pero hindi pa ito yung mga araw na mag-i-intervene ang ating Panginoong Yahweh. And yet, lahat ng gumagawa ng kasalanan sa ngayon, sila'y mananagot when they stand before Yahweh. Everything is being accounted at the moment. Hindi naman nakakawala ang mga yan. Hindi como crime happen ay hindi na malaya, no, nawala sa pansin ni Yahweh. No, everything is accounted diyan. Kaya pag sila'y tatayo kay Yahweh ay mananagot ang mga iyan. Yan po ang design ngayon. We are living in this moment na this will pass away nga kasi corrupt ito Kaya dapat habang hindi pa natatapos ito, let's hold on dun sa rope na binaba ng ating Panginoon. Let's hold on to that kasi pag hindi tayo nahila, we will be part ng pagwawalis na ito Ganun yon na Brother Alan. Kaya things are happening ngayon na hindi natin as we call it, evil, wicked na mga activities.
Pastor, how
Alright,
often po yung pag-intervene ng ating Panginoon? Kasi may mga nababasa ako na sa internet na may mga aksidente, tapos meron silang nanonotice na may mga parang angel na nagre-rescue sa mga tao inside the vehicle na masusunog na. Gaano po kalaki yung chances, Pastor, na nag-i-intervene ang ating Panginoon sa mga ganong klaseng mga sakuna?
Oh, well, I will consider na if my number is not yet, miracle can happen and save me from any imminent danger. So, my number, all I have to think is my number is not up yet. That's it. Meron naman natusok ka lang ng karayom, na infection ka, namatay ka. Natetano ka and everything. Your number is right there already. Ganun lang ang paningin natin dyan. Hindi yung kada danger ba ay isi-save ka niya. I don't think so. There will be a time na your number is up and then that's it. It will do you. Yeah.
Yes, salamat po, Pastor. I think we're up to the question po na sinend po sa inyo dyan sa USA.
Alright, dito, ang sabi po ng question ay paano ang nararapat na pagtrato o ano ang nararapat na pagtrato ng isang simbahan kapag may mga maruming palaboy, siguro yung mga street people, no? Yung mga beggars na gustong pumasok sa sanctuaryo. Dapat ba natin silang paalisin? Well, unang-una, ang priority lalo na dito sa Amerika, sa Las Vegas, ang priority ay yung to protect the people who came inside the church. Siguro, if the church is designed na may foyer siya na you can stop parang may receiving room, that we can entertain yung mga palaboy. Okay, maybe we can give them food or something. But number one na yung i-protect kasi yung mga taong nagpunta sa church. Lalo na, halimbawa dito sa CMI, pagpasok mo, mga bata na kaagad yan. Nandiyan ang mga rooms ng mga bata, Sunday school. So as much as possible, kung hindi natin kakilala yung mga tao, pagpasok nila, i-contain lang natin dun sa may front door. Kasi ang unang priority natin, ito. Pero merong mga churches, ang kanilang ministry ay those kind of people. Pero i-design mo naman ng church na i-protect mo yung mga taong hindi gano'n ng klase. That is well also. By discernment, at ang number one dyan is to protect yung mga taong nagpunta para mag-attend ng service. Dito nga sa Amerika na naririnig natin, during the service, binabaril yung pastor. during the service, may papasok na just shooting everyone dun sa given na sanctuary. Number one yan, iniingatan natin. Kaya sometimes when we have strangers or visitors, first and foremost, protect the flock. Ika nga. And not necessarily pinapaalis yan. It's good na nakakausap din sila. Yun ang kasagutan natin.
I heard also from someone's testimony, Pastor.
Yes.
It's really, really long ago, maybe before I was born.
That's long.
There are lots of sort of ministry. So before,
Okay.
when there was no food for everyone that time, there was a snacks for newcomers from the church.
Oh,
And then
Okay.
those among them, one of them, the newcomers, he doesn't know the love of fathers, and then he learned or he felt that love from the Father, from Yahweh. That's why the only one piece of snack, it turned to that way po.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Good idea. Well, the same happened to me because when they first invited me to attend Bible study, there was cookies. There was
Wow.
cookies and some kind of juice. And because we were very poor, there's no snack at home. So after school, I go there so I can get snack.
Pastor, you know,
Yeah.
you know what the
Go ahead.
testimony?
Mhm.
That's
Yes.
from my father po.
What? Your
Oh,
father?
Yeah.
So no wonder before you were born.
My father shared that thing when I was really young po. And then it's still here in my heart po. Because
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay.
because when my father was really like student, my grandfather, right? My grandfather
Yeah, yeah.
died early. That's why my father was having hard time that day po.
Okay. Yeah, here in Las Vegas, we have many what you call homeless. But many of these homeless are also have vices. Sometimes they ask for money and then they buy for cigarette or they buy beer, like that. So we're talking two different kinds. One is an ordinary and one these kinds. And like I said, when they hear you say you give them money, like the church, if you give them money, they will tell all their friends. Now they will
Yeah.
start coming to your,
Yes,
to
they
your
are-
church.
They bring their friends too.
Yeah, now they will ask for money also. You give them food, sometimes they don't accept your food.
Especially
Because, they want
nowadays.
something. Yeah, they want something. They want money. So that will actually disrupt yung church service or the activity inside the church.
Yeah.
So
I
it's different people, different dealings.
I think this one, the one we just talk, I think it might affect every century po. Because before, maybe the piece of snack could affect them, but not now. It means there is other way that we need to assess.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah, maybe give them iPhone.
Cash or in kind. Yeah.
Or in Korea, give them Samsung. Yeah, and I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Different time, different era. There should be an approach to how to welcome the first timer or the newcomer. You know, I think people, they appreciate when when they see you, you're having a real nice, not pretending kind of a welcome, that really a warm welcome to them. I think that is good enough. That is why in Calvary Chapel, I try to tell everyone it is our ministry to welcome our visitors. One is you watch the visitor, try to see what is the intention of that visitor. If you see that he's looking for a church, make sure they will feel welcome. We do that naman eh. We do that naman. But we just have to be careful in immediately helping them, whether food or monetary, and then they keep on coming back or even tell people. Because many people are now targeting the church to get something from them, money or whatever that is. You just have to be aware of every kind that can possibly come into our church.
Ayan. Maraming salamat po, Pastor Ram. And before we go to the next question from Sister Tanya, sabi po ni Ma'am Crema Canlapan, happy birthday, Hyra. Sabi po niya, with a heart. And sabi rin ni Brother Alan De Castro, maraming salamat po, Pastor Ram, sa kasagutan ng kanyang katanungan. Also with us right now, also with us, joining us tonight, si Arnel Nicdao Pangilinan. Ayan, I think dyan siya sa some part ng Middle East. Hello bro, kamusta ka na dyan? And also with us tonight, guess who? Si Brother Fernando Vergara. Ayan. Hello po, Brother Fernando. Kamusta na nga po kayo dyan? At kay Ma'am Helen Flores Pablo. Hi, Hyra. Blessed, happy birthday. Give Rebecca kiss for us. Sabi ni Ma'am Helen. Ayan. Sabi rin ni Dabawenyo Macho, me and Iya are watching. Ayan, yung tambal. Hi guys. Hi Iya and Jessie. Kamusta kayo? At sabi ni Brother Fernando Vergara, good morning Pastor Ram. Good evening Christina. And bro Dennis. Ayan, Sister Umbi.
My friend Kyle is also watching po.
Ayan.
That's it po.
So next question po, galing po kay Sister Tanya Vergara Adrias.
Okay.
I have a question from Sister Tanya.
Yes.
Good evening po. What was born as a result of Lot's incestuous relationship with one of her daughter. However, can you help?
Okay. However, Ruth is a descendant of Moab and was ancestor of Jesus. Can we say that Lot's story gives hope that God forgives and often bring about positive circumstances from evil? So ito pa sa yung tanong ni Sister Tanya. Salamat, Sister Tanya.
Salamat, Sister Tanya. Well, yung pagdating sa kay Ruth, yung being Moabite, ay yung origin niya, no? Pagdating sa kanya, really, she has nothing to do with that evil eh. Kaya we cannot say na evil is attached to our Adonai Yeshua. I think a lesson na we can get out of that is one time nga meron tayong na-meet na isang so gifted, potential na maging inductive workshop trainer, na isa siyang pastor. And yet he was actually resurfacing from backsliding life. Ang sabi niya sa akin na, Pastor, gusto ko sanang maki-join sa inyo. Gusto ko yung ginagawa ninyo. Gusto kong pa-train. Kaya lang, yun na nga. It's just coming back sa backsliding life. And then ang sabi ko sa kanya, Pastor, wala naman yan. Ang importante, who you will be, hindi who you were. Kasi you backslid eh. That's your past. Ang importante, what is your decision now and what you will become. Yun ang importante sa akin. Kung ikaw ay willing, serious ka, at yun naman, tinanggap niya yung invitation natin, he became one of the maasahan mong IBS trainer natin ever sa buong ministry natin dyan sa Pilipinas. Kaya ang point ngayon, sa atin din, hindi naman yung nakaraan natin ang importante. Ang importante, who we are now and what we will do from here. Kaya nga sometimes marami yung mga naririnig natin sa mga tao na pagkadami-dami ng kanilang ginawa in the past. Pero at the moment, wala na silang planong gawin. Wala na rin silang gagawin in the future. Di ba mas maganda yung who you are now and what you are planning to do in the future as far as your progress being a Christian and your bringing fruits to Yahweh. Dapat yun ang ano. Ganun din ang nangyari sa ating Panginoong Yeshua na meron siyang dinaanan ang kanyang lineage na mga Gentiles na mga babae, even to the point one of them came from a people na ang origin ay sa incestuous relationship between the father and the daughter. Ayun.
Ayan, maraming salamat po, Pastor Ram. At sabi po ni Michelle Flores Lapay, "Go, Christina! Fighty!" Sabi niya. Hello, Ma'am Michelle. Welcome sa Bible Cafe. And Pastor, sabi ni Ma'am Cory Guevara Olado, Pastor Ram, regarding sa ministry, how about giving monetary fund to a certain ministry but not involving to the actual ministry? Is this considered as your ministry sa church? Salamat po. Ito po yung question, follow-up question ni Ma'am Cory Guevara Oleado.
Yeah. Absolutely. Every ministry needs cost now these days. Hindi laway salamat. Ano ba? Ang isang ministry ay they're feeding children. And then pag pupunta sila sa store, hindi naman nila sabihin na, "Oh, we have a ministry. Kami po ay galing sa church. We have a ministry. We're feeding children. Can we get some of your items and then God will bless you?" Pwede yun. Kaya every ministry, pag sa actual na world na, it will take monetary to sustain that ministry. So kahit hindi ikaw yung front, kahit hindi ikaw mismo yung manning or yung nagpapalakad sa ministry niyan, and yet yung pera mo ngayon ay sustaining yung ministry yon, absolutely kasama yan sa ministry. Para mo na ring ministry yan you are backing, you are supporting that particular ministry.
Yes. Salamat po, Pastor. I think one thing po na ito yung hindi nakikita na ministry sa isang church. Makakwento ko lang po dito sa Calvary Chapel, hindi na po kami karamihan, pero marami pong mga very generous po na mga kapatiran dito sa Calvary Chapel. Kaya kahit po konti lang yung population namin, hindi ganun kadami, but we are up to our ilang anniversary na, parang 10 plus anniversary na po. So God is really faithful na ginagamit po niya yung mga kapatiran to support the ministry. Well, in fact, hindi naman po ito ministry ng tao, ito ay ministry ng ating Panginoon. Pero ibang usapan naman po kung yung ministry sa loob ng church nangihingi sa labas para sa mga needs ng isang ministry. Ayan. Pastor, we're up to our last question for tonight. Ito po ay galing kay Mama Crema Kanlapan, sabi po niya.
Alright.
Question for the day po, Pastor Ram. Ayan, question for the day. What is life verse? Are we encouraged to have one po? Ito po yung katanungan ni Ma'am Crema. Maraming salamat, Ma'am Crema, for sending your question.
Well, isang life verse daw.
Opo.
Well, as an inductive teacher, Number one is to saturate muna ang ating kaisipan, ang ating knowledge sa buong scripture. Kasi whatever is that life verse ng isang tao, number one, if it is taken out of context, is now living wrongly dun sa kiniklaim niyang verse. Number one dyan ay yung sometimes many people claim yung Jeremiah, I think 29:11. Yun ang maraming gumagamit na taong that's their life verse. Yung talagang nasa sinapupunan pa lang siya. Binantayan na niya, tsaka yung magiging prosperous siya or magiging successful siya, something like that. But wait, that verse was talking to Jeremiah. And ganun na lang yung pag-encourage ni Yahweh kay Jeremiah because Yahweh knows Jeremiah will really babanggayan sa all kinds of difficult things sa kanyang buhay, sa kanyang ministry. Kaya ganun na lang kataas yung encouragement ni Yahweh sa kanya. Ito ngayon ang mga tao sa panahon natin. They want everything pleasant, they want everything comfortable and convenient sa kanila because they don't even want to get their hands dirty pagdating sa doing the will of Yahweh. At the same time, they claim that verse out of context. That's not yours. You're not even involved in the ministry. You're not even getting your hands dirty. But look at Jeremiah. Babad na siya sa putik. Kaya he needs an encouragement from Yahweh who sent him to do that very job. That's not for you. Ayan, ano yung life verse? Life verse will come to you if you know, if you have a good idea, the entire context or entire counsel, the whole counsel ng ating Panginoon. You can just choose any verse ngayon. Kasi once you look at that verse, you see the connection niya, ng web niya. Yung network niya to other scriptures. Hindi yun lang yung binabank mo. Ayan, nakikita mo yung the whole plan ni Yahweh sa'yo. Kumbaga, yung binabantay niya yung buong pagkatao. Pero pag titignan mo yung verse na yun, nare-remind ka yung lahat ng gawa at ginagawa ng ating Panginoong Yahweh sa atin. Tulad ng when we talk about sanctification, work out your salvation with fear and trembling. Yan ang when I read that verse, it reminds me all the sanctification taking place sa akin. That I had to give a good value doon sa kinamatay ng ating Panginoong Yeshua sa atin. And so I must live my life worthy doon sa kinamatay niya. Yun na yung sanctification ngayon. Yung living my life worthy, living the salvation He granted me worthy sa harapan niya. Pero hindi lang yun ang pinangawakan ko ngayon, kundi yung buong kilos at ginagawa ni Yahweh sa akin. Dapat yun muna. Dapat ma-expose muna ang tao sa right understanding sa kanyang salita. Then you can choose any life verse that will remind you yung entire counsel ng Panginoon sa atin. Pero hindi yan detached na sa akin ito, sasabihin mo. Pero titingnan mo, out of context naman. Yan ang nangyayari sa maraming mga churchgoers now these days. Number one, wala silang understanding sa inductive na perspective. Meron pa tayong isang tanong, if I may.
Okay,
Any
Pastor.
addition doon, Bro Dennis, Sister Umi? Any addition to on?
Pastor, next question na po. Yes.
Okay. Alright. So ito, ang question na na-receive ko, can we explain daw itong Matthew chapter 5, verses 38 to 42? Ito. Matthew chapter 5, verses 38 to 42. Ang sabi po niya, may I?
Opo, Pastor. Go ahead po. Salamat.
Okay. You have heard that it was said, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. But I tell you not to resist an evil person, but whoever slaps you on your right cheek, turn the other to him also. If anyone wants to sue you and take away your tunic, let him have your cloak also. And whoever compels you to go 1 mile, go with him too. Give to him who asks you, and from him who wants to borrow from you, do not turn away. Ang tinuturo dito ay yung number one, yung claiming our rights. Claiming our rights. Claiming justice and claiming our rights. Ito po yung tinuturo ng Panginoon sa atin. How are we going to deal when our rights is violated, when injustice happens sa atin? Excuse me, for the sake of the gospel, for the sake of people to get to know ang salvation through Yeshua, why at times you don't need to claim your right. You don't need to claim justice sa mga nangyayari sa iyo. Pero hindi mo ma-apply ito sa halimbawa sa bansa. O wala na. O nagnakaw si ano. Siya yung pumatay sa ano. O bayaan mo na yan. At sinasabi ng Bible, bayaan niya na yan. He's teaching us na sometimes we're so sensitive in pag na meron tayong may na-violate na right natin may na-violate na justice sa atin, we immediately wanna get it even. We immediately wanna sue. We immediately do this and do that dahil may na-violate sa atin So wait a minute. If it is needed so, kung kinakailangan, that will happen in order for us to reach out sa mga tao na makakilala sila sa Panginoon. Kasi pag yan nakakilala, they will not do this sa atin. Pag ito ginagawa sa atin, obviously, hindi pa sila nakakakilala. Now, put up with them. Kumbaga, pagpasensyahan mo sila. Kumbaga, just be there. Huwag mo, be ready. Pag sinampal ka sa right, be ready na even yung sa left, sasampalin ka niya to the point na ma-reach mo siya para sa ating Panginoon. Dapat may purpose. Hindi yung sinaktan ka na at tapos ay ibibigay mo pa yung left mo, wala ka naman purpose. Always may purpose ngayon na sila ay makilala nila ang Panginoon. Now, kung ito ay repeated naman, ito ay nagiging routine, nagiging habit, hindi na ito ang pinag-uusapan. We're talking about abuse. Abuse na ang nangyayari dyan. That is a no-no. Kasi usually yung mga Romans, pag sila'y naglalakad at pag meron silang nakitang walking with them, pag pinoint nila yung kanilang spear sa iyo, sasabihin niya, you, bring this baggage for 1 mile. Ayun, karapatan nila ang mga Romans kasi they are over sa mga Hudyo Karapatan nila yon. Sasabihin nila, you, bring this. Siyempre, ano ba to? Ba't pinapadala sa akin, ako pa yung napili nito? No, instead na ganun ang attitude mo, go for 2 miles. Makita mo, alright, hanggang dito lang, 1 mile na to. Hindi, no, let me carry pa sa iyo. Kwentuhan mo siya about the gospel. Yun, para meron kang intention, meron kang purpose in doing that. Para makita nila na, wow, ibang klaseng ito. Hindi yung ina-expect na ito yung magiging niya sa akin. Instead, maganda yung pinapakita niya sa akin. So now, you're witnessing through your act, and then later, kung may chance tayo to witness also by words. Excellent. Pero wag yung we're so sensitive na pag na-violate yung right natin at na injustice sa atin or may kukunin niya yung something sa atin ay immediately nagre-react tayo na no, sa akin to. It's mine. Ano yung pagkakataon makapag-witness tayo? But this is not a routine. It's not habitual. Hindi repeated. Ma-abuse tayo pag gano'n. Yeshua did not teach us that people will abuse us. Yun po ang chapter 5 ng Book of Matthew verses 38 to 42. Ayan, salamat po. Kung meron pong follow-up dyan, just text us also. Kasi na-receive ko po itong text na ito.
Ayan, salamat po Pastor Ram sa kasagutan sa tanong. And sabi po ni Ma'am Crema Kanlapan, mine po ay John 3:16. The reason why I got saved. Ito po yung life verse ni Ma'am Crema. Sabi rin ni Brother Ali Hison, happy birthday, Hyra. Sabi niya, ayan. So sabi rin ni Ma'am
Yeah.
Rosana's Sunflowers, we learn so much each day as we watch, listen to Bible Cafe. Salamat po. Ayan, so we're on the conclusion na po ng Bible Cafe. And sa lahat pa sa inyo na late po na nag-tune in or late po na nag-view ay you are watching Bible Cafe live dito po sa Leader News Philippines. And if you happen to miss the first part of our program, you can catch it po over YouTube and even sa replay po dito rin po sa Facebook sa Leader News Philippines. So ayan, so darako na po kami sa aming parting words at mauna po si Sister Umbi.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Shalom po. Adonai willing, I hope I can see everyone again tomorrow, our last episode for this week. If you are still holding your phone or you have a time, let's share our episode po so that we can give our chance to others who doesn't hear anything about Yahweh. So, thank you. This is Unbi po, Sister Unbi.
Ayan, thank you so much po sa inyong lahat na patiently being with us with the whole duration po ng Thursday edition ng Bible Cafe. Once again, ay samahan niyo po kami sa susunod na broadcast tomorrow, Friday edition. Nawa ay makakasama po namin kayo muli dito sa programang Bible Cafe. And once again, may the Lord bless us all.
Alright. Salamat, Sister Umbi. Tingnan mo, Sister Umbi, naka-uniform niyo pa yan.
Yan, galing po sa school. Opo.
Alright. Kumusta yung panahon dyan? Maulan pa ba?
Meron pa rin pa, sir. Paulan-ulan pa rin.
Meron pa rin. Alright.
Opo.
Salamat, Brother Dennis, for being with us. At least we have discussed some things. Hopefully, that serve our viewer again for today. Salamat. Salamat din po sa bawat isa that stayed with us even up to this point ng ating episode.
Yes.
Meron pong pumasok na question
Opo.
galing from Brother Ali, but I will take care of that tomorrow. Kapatid,
Yes,
no?
opo.
Tomorrow po, kuya.
Yeah, tomorrow. Meron pa nga meron pa nga request, bakit daw walang weekend edition?
Ay,
Ayun.
sayang.
Pero weekend edition, pwede rin yan. Pag someday, maybe we can have a one weekend edition. Pero meron din maganda sana, meron din tayong mga inserted videos, no? Mga inserted videos, mga inserted pictures. Maybe we'll talk to Sir Errol about that. Na, yung after ng first hour, pwede tayong mag-inject ng some kind of video. Activities, church activities or event.
Yes,
Pwedeng event dyan sa Baguio or dito sa Las Vegas. Something that we can do something different. Anyways, kanina po ang naging proverb natin, proverb of the day ay dito sa Proverbs chapter 12 verses 1 to 7. Basically, tinignan natin na ang isang taong willing to listen sa instructions ni Yahweh, well, magiging container siya ng knowledge, magiging knowledgeable siya. Kaya sa atin ay let us desire to know the entire scripture. Let us desire what is the instruction. Let us not conclude na now we are in the New Testament, I can just be this, I can just be that. Yan, binlank mo yung kinlose mo yung container of knowledge. Kaya maraming mga tao ngayon no longer knowledgeable about the Word of God. Kaya dapat ang natin doon, ang life lesson, naging life lesson natin, let us desire to know what Yahweh wants us to do. And then dalawa ang klaseng tao, the wicked and the righteous. The wicked will eventually be swept out sa buhay na ito. Ang magre-remain ang mga righteous. And also the other person we look at, yung taong may maayos na asawa, corona niya yan. Pero yung asawang panggulo siya at she has her own way, she has her own mind, doing her own thing. Naku, yan, meron siyang ginamit yung sa bones, but she who causes shame is like rottenness in his bone. Parang, ganito, ang asawa ko, yung gano'n ang dating yan. Kaya ang life lesson dyan, sa mga wala pang asawa, ay piliin yung asawa na will stand with you, will be a helper to the calling Yahweh is giving you as a man. Ayan naman. Sa mga babae, know your place, know your position, how to be well sa iyong husband. You don't need to do all that when you have a responsible husband naman. Yun po naging proverb natin, even sa verse 7, sabi niya, the wicked are overthrown and are no more, but the house of the righteous will stand. Let us continue doing what is right and what is godly, and we will remain dito sa mundong ito. Beautiful,
Amen.
no? Maraming mga tao someday hindi na natin kasama. Ang mga kaguluhan, wala na yan. Everything is, wow. Dito nga, days na lang, weeks, ang heading back sa Pilipinas. Ang really, makikita mo gaano kaayos dito, yung mga daan, gaano malalapad, yung traffic, may order, hindi yung parang parating unahan, parang gano'n na klaseng pagdadrive, relax ka lang pag nagdadrive, pag nasa grocery ka, ang lalaki ng mga store, walang banggaan, kasi maluluwang yung mga, yung alley, daanan. Babalik na naman ako sa Pilipinas, sometimes, I'm thinking, Pero in the paradise, wow, walang sinabi ito. At yun, walang expiration. Sana for us who read the Bible, who study the Bible, let us apply it sa ating mga buhay. Let us be found before Yahweh ng mga righteous. Because we will remain. We will go sa kaharian ng Panginoon, and then we will come back here forevermore. Ako, I want to volunteer to be one of those people na makakasama ng Panginoon for eternity. Yan po ang tinuturo ng Bible sa atin. Hindi lang inaaral natin ng Bible para maging matalino tayo, para nag-guide po tayo sa buhay na ito. Kung mali ang direction natin, let's bring it back. Kung tama yung direction natin, wow, we are encouraged. Yun po ang maraming service ng proverb sa atin. Kaya everyday, napakagandang inaaral po ito. Salamat po. Alright, again, si Pastor Ram Gamboa po ito ng Calvary Chapel, Baguio City. Salamat sa inyong panonood, salamat sa inyong prayers, sa lahat po ng inyong suporta. As we always say, mabuhay po tayo sa ating Panginoong Yahweh. We'll see you tomorrow sa ating Friday episode, Adonai willing. Everyone, Shalom.
Shalom.
Yahweh telling people His 7 feasts.
Therefore hear me now, my children, and do not depart from the words of my mouth.
There is no longer Jews or Gentiles. We are all in this one fold because we entered through our belief.
Keep your heart with all diligence, for out of it spring the issues of life.
The Bible is teaching us about the urgency of time.
Sa pagtanggap kay Kristo na siyang na tagapagligtas,